Well, hello, my soul friends. It is Victoria, and I was supposed to be here yesterday with the new moon in Sagittarius video, but I couldn't make it. I couldn't do it, and I'll tell you why in a moment. I think, I'll share. I'm just honest here because part of me being here on the Soul Nurture channel, I'm just not this, person sitting on a mountaintop, totally enlightened. I am just like all of you, a soul having a human experience. And in our human experiences, well, that's where the lessons come. That's where the stuff hits us in the face to look at, review, especially with this new moon, because later in the day on December 12th, we are going into Mercury retrograde, but I would argue that this pre-shadow thing is a real thing because I've just been walloped by Mercury retrograde the last week. So anyway, welcome to the Soul Nurture channel. I'm just here to offer support, offer inspiration, offer a real look at where we're at, but with the lens of how is this supporting us? How is this helping us? What are we growing through? How is our soul evolving through everything we're doing? How are we cultivating our gifts that are connected to our purpose? So if any of this interests you, and if you also relate to being a wounded healer, an empath, a healer yourself, somebody on the path of offering support to others, and are needing to be reminded to take care of you, take care of your soul, to nurture your own soul and your own soul potential, then this channel just may be for you. So I invite you to stay with me, get yourself a cup of tea or coffee. I have to show you the mug I chose today. It's my faith mug. This will tell you a little bit about yesterday and how I had to reset. So let me read it to you actually, because I really love it. So faith isn't always a leap. Sometimes it's just one step after another, with lots of falling down and getting back up in between. So cheers to any of you who understand that. Here's the thing that I want to say before I get into the new moon video. We're all learning and growing, and we're all emerging new ways of being. So think about when, a toddler is learning to walk, they wobble, they fall, they wobble, they fall. I feel like that's where we all are right now. We're practicing new ways of being, and we're going to wobble and fall. We're going to fall back into our default programming. We're going to see the stuff stirred up from the past that we still have to deal with, and in order to revision, to reimagine, reconnect to soul potential. And this is what this new moon in Sagittarius, happening on December 12th at 3:32 p.m. Pacific time, is about. I think. Again, this is just my take. There are a number of people that do what I do out there in the world and on YouTube. I remember being in a Louise Hay lecture 1,000 years ago. She was one of my spiritual mentors when I was 17. She saved me. Her work saved me. Let me just say that. It opened up a path to healing for me that I very much needed. Anyway, she said, there are a number of speakers here today, and we're all going to say the same thing, only differently. And hopefully one of us will be the one that opens and awakens you. So I guess I offer that to you. There's lots of people out here on YouTube and doing similar things. It's so funny. I really thought, I'm going to talk about transformational healing and bring in astrology and soul work. So I'm going to do this different thing. And then I realized there's so many other people doing this different thing, but hopefully the way that I speak to what is going to connect with you. Okay. So welcome. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Comment, like, all that stuff. And I'm sure every video you watch, you hear other people saying that too, because it helps us doing YouTube. YouTube's my only platform right now. I'm not on Facebook. I'm kind of fading out of Instagram. YouTube I love because I can just sit down and be myself and talk to all of you. And it gives me an opportunity to outreach a message that I'm like, I just want to help more people. And every subscribe, every like, every comment helps me get out there in the YouTube algorithm. however it works. It's still a mystery to me. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to say is I think I may be taking a little sabbatical. After I tell you what happened yesterday, you'll understand. I have 2 more videos I want to do, and I haven't decided if I'm going to do them and post them to YouTube or just invite you to email me if you want them. One is about, navigating the holidays while you're grieving. And remember, grief isn't just the death of someone, the loss of someone. It is the end of life as you knew it. It's an adjustment that you're having to adjust to, okay? And the other one, I usually do this every year, and I'm not sure if I'll just do it as a meditation or a video, and that is end of the year review to help prepare for the fresh new year coming up next month. Here we are, December 2023. Can you believe it? And the other thing I want to say is I'm going to just do top of the trees, and what my takeaway for this new moon is, because I already did a bunch of videos for this season. I did a Sagittarius season, which covers the archetypal expression of Sagittarius. And then what else did I do? I did a video about, the main transits in December. And that one covers Mercury retrograde. So I feel like I kind of already said everything I want to say, but hopefully there's something new for you. And maybe you're ready just because you're feeling the new moon. We usually feel the new moon, any lunation cycle, 3 days before, 3 days after. And so I like to have these out 3 days before so you can start working with the possibilities, right? And that's what I want to offer you. This is all just possibilities. You have free will. When you hear an astrologer or a soul guide saying, here are some things that, I hear a lot of people say, this is absolute, this is happening. And I'm like, gosh, no. We all have free will. This is the potential. There may be a thunderstorm. Get your raincoat. Don't go outside. There may be some hard aspects. Navigate accordingly. Get out your spiritual tools. Maybe you need to pray a little bit more, meditate a little bit more, take some time to yourself a little bit more. So I'll tell you now what happened to me yesterday, and then I'll get into the new moon. I didn't know what was going on, honestly. I'm a person that has a lot of joy. I have a lot of Sagittarius. I have Venus and Mars in Sag. My sun is in the 9th house. Very Sagittarian, very optimistic, very joyful. I get up over and over again no matter what, right? But I'm also Scorpio. And when Scorpios get stirred up, they don't just they fall deep. And I did. Yesterday I did. And I could not put my finger on it. I just felt this swirling energy. And I thought, okay, it's what's happening in the world because it feels bigger than me. So I did some practices. One of the practices I do in this case is a Buddhist practice called Tonglen breathing, where you breathe in, like say I was feeling overwhelmed, I was feeling sadness, I was feeling fear. So you breathe into sadness and then you breathe out, peace. You breathe into the fear, you breathe out trust, right? I was trying that. Everything I was trying was not working. And I have this, human experience thing going on right now that has been so frustrating. Definitely Mercury retrograde has its grip on this. Something that should be going easily has been just snagged. And this is connected to something that is very important to my health and well-being. So yesterday I just kind of was spinning and I was crying and I was like, okay, I'm feeling a little out of control here. So what I needed to do, I had to just unplug. I unplugged from everything. I went to bed super early. I just sort of laid there almost in a fetal position, just like, all right, I'm surrendered. I'm not going to try to do nothing right now. I'm just going to sit. I'm going to listen. I'm going to feel. I'm going to cry. I'm going to be, right? So that was yesterday. Woke up great this morning. I just needed to unplug. And then I thought, you know what? My mind, body, and soul are telling me I might need a little step away a little bit more. I love doing these videos, but sometimes, they do feel like a little pressure on me in between everything else I've got going on. And I also have this desire to redo them a little bit. I don't know. I've got a lot of fire. It feels a little stagnant here. So I'll let you know. I'll post something or I'll come on and do a quick video about that. So, okay, now let's talk about this new moon in Sagittarius. Think about Sagittarius. Maybe watch my video about Sagittarius. That's the energy that we are going to be playing with together, feeling into together, plus the other aspects, and I'll get into those in a moment. And remember, I'm talking about the general collective astrological weather, but where it's going to affect you is in your unique natal chart. So you would look at, what is the degree? Let me just pop up my chart here for a minute. So you would look for where 22 degrees of, sorry, this is not the right one. What is going on here? Okay, I put in the wrong time. See, okay, this is the kind of stuff that's really happening with me. I double checked this chart like 4 times, and that's not the right time. So, okay, so I forget about that. It's about 22 degrees, 20 degrees, I think. It's at 20 degrees Sagittarius is the new moon. So go to your chart. I practice with Western astrology, Placidus house system. A lot of people do whole signs, and if that's easier for you, just go to the house where Sagittarius is in your chart. That's what's going to be activated, okay? That's where this new beginning, remember new moons are just an opportunity just to pause and reflect on the new beginning before you, okay? And with the energy of Sagittarius. So where is that in your chart? So also, as a reminder for some of you that like to learn the astrology a little bit, a new moon is when the sun and the moon are conjunct. Okay, this is some people say that it's the dark moon. I've learned that the dark moon is just before the new moon, but you know, it's when the sun and the moon are hugging it out in the sky. Okay, so they're conjunct, they're conjoined, they're together, right? So the energy is working together, and it's a fresh new beginning. It's the beginning of the lunation cycle, and this is where we set intentions. This is where we pause, especially just coming out of the balsamic moon, which is I think is the dark moon that comes just before the new moon, where we just go, okay, and this is kind of where I am. Maybe you're feeling it too. In fact, I didn't ask you, how are you? What are you doing? How are you doing? This thing I had yesterday, I woke up this morning, I was like, okay, what was that? It was, and the word came, shame storm. I was in a storm. I felt just in a storm. There's nothing I could do. And I said to my husband, what do people do when they're in a sandstorm? And he's like, you just hunker down. I'm like, that's what I did. That's what I had to do. I had to hunker down, let the storm kind of pass, see what was happening, being opened within it. And that's what I did. I just laid still. I was like, okay, what is all this? And it was a lot of, shame stuff. Honestly, I'm going to tell you the truth. So especially, I think it was for me because of the end of the year, and maybe you're relating to this because the end of the year, we're like, oh my gosh, what did I do this year? I was going to do this project, that project, the other, and where am I, right? And I just had a pretty significant birthday too. So it was like, how much time do I have? So it was heavy for me, moon in Scorpio, yesterday and today before we get into the new moon at Sagittarius. And this is how astrology goes. This is why I'm like, how could you deny this is not from Creator? It's an exquisite, amazing system that speaks to our human experience, that supports us. Like, it calls us to our soul awareness, our sacred awareness. And for me, it's like, yeah, that was a hard day, but let's look at what's coming. What are we being prepared for? And this new moon is really about inviting us to be prepared for the grand adventure of our lives, to check and see, what have we learned? What do we still need to learn? What do we need to be honest about? Where are we holding back, and where we just want to go play in our life? And I think this is what the invitation is, especially just before we go into Capricorn season, which is going to be a little bit more austere. It's going to be a little bit more like, okay, sobering, right? But we're still in Sagittarius season for until the 21st of December. So still Sagittarius season, still time to play. But I think that this new moon is saying, with some little bit of holding back, kind of. Here's what came to me this morning. I should go to my notes. I haven't looked at my notes yet, so that's kind of good. I had a friend of mine who's an astrologer tell me, you need to trust how much intuition you have. And when you get in your flow, it's not reading notes. But I just don't want to miss anything. So anyway, um, well, let me just read the aspects. And, I think for me, always, people get into this frame of mind. It's the end of the year. We're going to set resolutions. Yes and no. We're preparing for the new year, clearing, and reviewing for sure, especially with Mercury in retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde a little bit later after the new moon. The new moon happening at 3:32 p.m. And then Mercury retrogrades later in the evening. Something's tickling my nose. I think it's a new candle I have. I'm having a little bit of an allergic reaction. So if I start sneezing, it's just because I need extra prayer, right? So just send, bless you, bless you, bless you, Victoria. Okay? I'll receive that. Believe me. If I had the strength yesterday, I would have come on just to say, send me your prayers. Anybody got a prayer for me? I needed one. And I wonder, I'm just so curious. Again, this is where we're all connected, right? What have you been noticing? And again, we're all connected, but we're all different. We're all unique. So me, Scorpio, I had a lot of squares in my chart yesterday. Just a lot of things active in my chart that were really, squares are hard aspects, and they kind of are pointing to what's not working, and they're like wanting you to take some action. And I was unable to take any action, so it was just kind of crumbling underneath all that pressure yesterday. So tell me what you've been noticing, how you're doing, and even tell me if you're doing great. I want to hear that too. Again, we're all unique, we're all different, and we share collective experience. So, okay, so I'm going to get to the aspects, but let me just say this. This is a perfect time to reflect, slow down, especially for us in the Southern Hemisphere, Northern Hemisphere. That's me, my Sagittarius, wanting to plan a grand adventure. I do want to be in a warmer climate right now, but nope, I'm in Washington State, where we are moving towards winter. We've moved from fall. We've been shedding, letting go. We're now ready to hunker down. There's this beautiful post that I used to see on Facebook. I think I actually have it on my phone. I love it so much. It's a woman. It's a beautiful drawing of a woman underneath the earth in a little kind of cocoony cave. She's got her candles. She's got her books. She's got a cup of tea. And every time I see that, I'm like, exactly. This is the energy of winter, and we're going inward, and Mercury retrograde is pulling us in quicker to review all the RE words. In fact, I forgot to say this in my Mercury retrograde video. I invite you just to Google RE words, right? Or open up your dictionary and just like follow your intuition, kind of put your hand on the page or just look on the screen and like let your awareness take you to a few words that are for you, right? What RE words are calling to you for this Mercury retrograde? I think collectively we are in reflect, reimagine, revision, reclaim, and the big one, remember. Remember who you truly are. Sagittarius energy is like, come on, you're a unique and powerful and beautiful spirit. Let your light shine, let your beauty, let your playfulness, let your joy, let your unique journey that's in motion unfold with joy and delight. And so remembering who you are. And then, of course, this is a time for us to really pay attention. And this is an aspect I'm going to get into. I'll tell you now. We've got Neptune square the sun and the moon. So Neptune square, again, square, hard aspect. It's bringing something to our attention. It's got an edge to it, can make us feel a little prickly, but it's calling us to something, right? But because, the sun, Neptune squared the sun is our vitality, our energy, our identity. So the square is pretty much what I was feeling yesterday. I was like, I have so much I need to do, and I could not do anything. So a Neptune square to sun and moon can feel disempowering, but it's purposeful. Remember, everything's purposeful. And so I also think it's inviting us to look at our nightly dreams more, to really pay attention to what our soul is trying to guide us to, and also to reveal what needs to be healed. But it's also to dream a new dream. And when I was thinking about this whole dreaming sort of theme of this new moon, Sagittarius is connected to this higher vision and expanding consciousness, no longer being limited, but really expanding to those possibilities. But the square is kind of like restricting that a little bit, right? And it's bringing up this potential to dream. And so this is what came to me, because I do dream work with my clients, and I that's my spiritual practice, big part of it. Not the only thing, of course, but I catch my dreams in the morning. What are they teaching me, showing me, revealing? What is my soul reminding me of? Where, like what's on repeat for me to heal? And that's another thing with this retrograde energy. What's on repeat? That's really wanting you to just pay attention, do something different, reclaim your potential, reclaim beliefs that are empowering to support you. My wounded healers out there, I know that I got triggered in a lot of my wounds. When we're triggered, we are on the verge of cultivating more gifts that are connected to our wounds. The gifts, which I call our soul medicine, so that we can be more potent in how we support others and ourselves, right? So I think these cycles happen just to continue to emerge more potential, to cultivate more strengths and gifts. So if you can remember that in the middle of a shame storm like I was in yesterday, which I couldn't. And I finally went, unplug, surrender. I'm just going to listen quietly. I'm going to listen to my emotions. And I do encourage you to do this. Don't take the spiritual bypass. Don't say, I'm just going to, pray this away, meditate this away, walk it away, watch a movie. All blocking. It's a bypass. Stay with it. Practice breathing in and just being aware. And if you can, with as much compassion, and I'm going to be honest, it was hard for me to gather my compassion for me. I went dark and down really quickly. And I'm just being honest with you, because I don't want to be on here just like being all like, hey, everyone, phony, fake. I want to be real, to invite you to be real, and to invite you to say, it's okay. We wouldn't have, emotions are part of our creation, how we're created. They're communicators, they're guides. And they're also, especially when you have a storm like I did, they clear you out for the new beginning. So I'm wondering if anybody else had a clear out for this new beginning. Okay. So this is the thing about dream work. So are you aware, maybe you are, maybe you're not, that when we dream, and you dream and you're running and you're jumping and you're flying, you're doing all these things, that, your body is in a state of temporary paralysis. Like, I don't know the biology of it, but there's something to do with the nerve pathways that kind of prevents the muscles in the body from moving. So say you're just kind of still, temporary paralysis. So I was like, that's the Neptune square, sun, moon, because we're being invited to dream this new expanded dream, but we're not meant to run with it yet. We're not meant to, go take the big action yet. We're meant to be with it, be very still with it, listen to it, expand it with, this is a time to do what I call soul visioning, which is taking a vision board, but with my method. And I used to have an online class, and the platform went away, and I've yet to recreate that class. But I'll just tell you some tips. It's one thing to do a vision board. You have to prepare to receive your vision. I say this all the time. You have to update your subconscious programming. You have to show it the way, show it the images, but then you also have to prepare the foundation of what do you need to believe about yourself in order to empower that vision and manifest that vision. Okay? So this is a really wonderful time to do this, to do a vision board, to do a specific board. If you're having issues with money or a relationship, that means your subconscious mind doesn't have enough information to support you where you want to go. So do the specific ones. Or I created this technique of create a file, because we're literally updating the files of our mind. Get a manila folder out, file folder, or a colorful one, and dedicate that to the specific file of your mind that you want to update. Get some images that resonate with that show you the way, give your subconscious mind information, and put a lot of affirmations on it and claim it for yourself. Okay, so, and pay attention. How many of you, I wonder, pay attention to your nightly dreams? Do you? I mean, to me, it's like, gosh, this gift from Creator every night, a gift from your soul every night, guidance every night. And some people are afraid of them because they'll say, oh, it's bizarre and too much, it's overwhelming. Well, they get more bizarre, more overwhelming, and maybe we get these reoccurring dreams because they're getting louder, or even nightmares, they're getting louder. So we'll pay attention. They're not meant to harm you, they're meant to help you, just as everything else in life, I believe, is trying to support us to evolve. Okay, I'm already past where I thought I would be, but I wanted to read a poem too. Just see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. Those were the aspects. Oh yes, also Mars. So this is going to be interesting because Moon conjunct Mars and Sun conjunct Mars too. This is where you're going to feel like you want to take action. I'm encouraging you to take action on your preparation and planning. Don't run ahead of the game before you've really sat with the vision of it. You've really reviewed, reassessed all this time. It is not the time to run forward. Just as I said, it's like, let that part of your brain just be on hold for now. When you're ready, you'll know. But do these preparatory, what's the word? Prepare to receive your soul vision. Prepare a foundation of supportive, empowered beliefs that allow. The other video I did, it was talking, the liminal space. Watch that one too. When the door opens to your possibility, you're ready, right? So we're just doing that work right now, okay? All right. So I want to read this poem by John O'Donohue because I thought it really fits perfectly for this. Remember, new moons are the new beginning, and so we're in a lunation cycle, new moon, full moon in two weeks, right? But we also can look at the bigger cyclical process and the bigger story unfolding. You could look at the last full moon in Sagittarius 6 months ago, or you can look forward to the full moon. Full moon in Gemini full moon in Sagittarius. When the sun is in Gemini in May or June, and the moon is in Sagittarius. So these 6 months cycles are the longer story, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. I used to think, honestly, I've been studying astrology since I was 15, and there's so many layers, and I learn something new every day. I used to think it was just in the lunation cycle, but there's a bigger, just like there's all these themes unfolding individually and collectively. And as we're doing our own unique work, our soul work, our inner work, we are harmonizing with these themes for higher possibilities, right? And this is what I believe the symbolic language of astrology helps us guide us all towards those higher potentials. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to read this and then I'm going to let you go. Please do comment with anything that you are taking away. I was just going to share the last bit of this poem, but I think it speaks to Sagittarian, the archer. And one last reference of that, right? Remember the archer, and I talked about this in the Sagittarius, that like pulling the bow back, right? We are in the pullback period, planning where we're going to release that arrow, where it's going to land. And we're not going to just do that kind of like, quickly. We're going to take our time to assess. And that's, again, pull back on that bow. It feels like you're going backwards, but you're preparing to move forward. I feel like that's important for someone out there. Anyone? It feels like you're going backwards, but you're preparing to go forward in a powerful way, in a more authentic way, more connected to your higher expanded possibilities. Can I get an amen? Anybody resonate with that? I hope so. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to close. I'm so grateful. I feel better today. There was a part of me that almost came on just to show you what it's like to have a storm, but I'm sure some of you can imagine if you're on my channel and probably have some Scorpio energy and wounded healer energy, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. For a New Beginning by John O'Donohue. You know, I almost said sir. I think he should be a sir. He's no longer with us, but he was just an amazing mystic for our times, I think. Okay. Listen for if you understand Sagittarius energy, or go watch my video on Sagittarius and then listen. I'll call some of it out maybe. In the out-of-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander. Did I read this poem already? I might have. If I did, we need to hear it again. That's so funny because wander is such a Sagittarius word. If I put it in my last video, I'm embarrassed because I honestly, I do videos and they go. I don't watch them again. I let them go. But this is like ringing true. Like, Victoria, you already read this poem. Was it in a workshop with a client, or was it on a video? I don't know, but who cares? We're going forward. Okay. So in the out of way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, just like I've been talking about. Something's quietly forming right now, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched you desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside of you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered. Heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight, when your courage kindled, and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. You can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is one with your life's desire. Oh my God, this is perfect. This is perfect for the new moon in Sagittarius. The last verse. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease and risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. Isn't that good? So good. Okay, I encourage you to print this poem out, John O'Donohue, and it is called For a New Beginning. I think it could be called For a New Sagittarius Moon because it's spot on. Listen to it again or read it and tell me what other lines speak to the new moon in Sagittarius, the energy, the archetypal expression of Sagittarius. It's all woven through this poem. All right. That's it, my friends. I'm so happy to be back in a joyful state today. And it's all of it's welcome, right? All emotions are needed as we trust the process. We trust the journey, another Sagittarius word. And we surrender to this unfolding of who we are and who we came to be, and the collective unfolding that has been hard, not gonna lie, to be in, to feel into. And that's where, whenever possible, you can do one of two things: practice your spiritual tools, or surrender, take care of yourself, and get back in when you can. Okay. All right. Sending you so much love. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. All right. Be well. Bye.